Hi, I'm Julia. On this channel, using evidence and with the best of my ability, I summarise what's known about actions and strategies that can benefit your health and the health of our environment. In this episode, I look at the relationship between body weight and exercise. Most of us assume that physical activity helps us to lose excessive weight. After each holiday season, many of us hit the gym to help lose the extra pounds that come along with holiday treats and dinners. But I wonder what the evidence says about the matter. Does exercise help as a tactic to lose weight?
Please, please, please.
It is very helpful that the government gives us evidence-based guidelines for physical activity. These guidelines tell us that we should be doing at least 150 minutes or 2.5 hours of moderate exercise each week. The guidelines also say, quote, adults should also do muscle strengthening activities of moderate or greater intensity that involve all major muscle groups on 2 or more days a week. However, if you meet the guidelines' minimum aerobic standard and don't make any changes to what you eat, you are not likely to lose any weight, although you will have many health benefits from exercising. The minimum recommendation of 150 minutes of moderate exercise along with 2 or more days of muscle strengthening activity per week reduces your risk for serious chronic diseases like cardiovascular disease and diabetes. It may be disappointing to you that the minimum exercise recommendation won't help you to lose weight, but it's because the guideline wasn't developed with weight loss as a goal, rather to understand what level of activity is needed for overall health benefits. Unfortunately, more than 3/4 of us aren't meeting the minimum aerobic and muscle strengthening standard. Just over half of adults meet the aerobic activity minimum. As a population, we do have some room to improve and benefit from being physically active. If you're thinking about losing weight, the good news is that even losing just 5% of your body weight will bring benefits to your health. Losing 5% of your body weight is categorized as clinically significant weight loss because of the health benefits that this amount of weight loss delivers. But in order to lose that 5% of body weight, I wonder, can exercise help? It seems plausible. We're all familiar with the explanation for why physical activity can promote weight loss. Exercise burns calories. So the idea is that you either use up energy reserves when you exercise, or your physical activity means you burn calories to create energy rather than store that energy as fat. As you burn calories, you go into a negative energy balance and start to lose excess fat. But in order to have clinically significant weight loss from exercise alone, if you don't change what you eat, the evidence suggests that you need to exercise quite a bit more than the government's physical activity minimum. You'd need to do aerobic exercise from somewhere between 3¾ to 7 hours a week.
This can't be happening! This has to be a dream!
But using exercise alone to lose weight may very well be challenging, especially given that most of us don't even reach the minimum level of activity recommended for our health. Maybe it's a better strategy to change our dietary habits as well as to exercise to lose excessive weight. What does the evidence tell us about this relationship? It tells us yes, the most effective way to use exercise to lose 5% of your body weight is to combine an exercise program with changes to your dietary habits to reduce calorie intake. So what's next? If you've already lost 5% or more of your body weight and you want to maintain your current weight, do you need to continue to exercise to help prevent regaining the weight that you lost? The answer is yes. If you've lost a few pounds or more and want to keep it off, you are more likely to be successful if you exceed the minimum guidelines and do at least 3.5 hours of moderate activity each week. I often hear people say that they worked out extra at the gym in order to treat themselves to extra calories later in the day. But it's probably not a good idea to do this on a regular basis, as it's easy to eat many more calories than you may have used up during exercise. For example, if you ride a bicycle for an hour and burn about 300 calories, it's easy to eat or even drink that many calories. Even a healthy snack, just one handful of nuts and a banana, and you are likely at about 300 calories. And it's important to think about the type of food you are eating as well as the calorie content. Ask yourself if the food you're about to eat is healthy, whole food, or is it ultra-processed food? We know that fresh whole grains, fruits and vegetables are better for your health, and ultra-processed foods are the worst. Eating them is likely to cause you to gain weight and have health problems. Ultra-processed foods are industrially produced packaged foods that are often energy-dense, low in fiber, with lots of additives and designed to last a long time between manufacture and consumption. What about if you aren't interested in losing any weight and you haven't previously lost weight, you just want to avoid weight gain as you get older? It's good news this time. The answer is yes. If you meet the government's recommendations for physical activity, you will increase your chances of avoiding weight gain as you get older. The scientific paper I used to compile this information combined evidence from both randomized controlled trials and cohort studies to summarize the evidence for exercise and weight loss. Randomized controlled trials compare groups of people randomly assigned to get an exercise intervention or to be the control or comparison group who don't get the intervention. The idea is that the randomization will eliminate bias. This is because there may be characteristics among the participants that may affect the relationship between exercise and weight loss. Randomization means that these characteristics will be distributed by chance among the groups being compared. And thereby, randomization helps the researchers to determine if the exercise intervention, rather than another characteristic, is effective to help participants lose weight. This means that a randomized controlled trial is a good way to establish if exercise causes weight loss. But often such studies are limited in duration. It's also important for us to know what happens over time, perhaps decades or longer time periods, than can be feasibly studied in a randomized controlled trial. This kind of research is done in what is known as a cohort study. Cohort studies can either follow people forward through time or they can look backwards to examine relationships. These types of studies are good at assessing the percentage of people in a population with a particular condition. As you can imagine, it can be expensive and it isn't always easy to follow people for decades. And looking backwards may involve asking people to remember behaviors or events, and as we all know, memory isn't always reliable. It's likely that if you tried to remember your physical activity level in the past, you might either exaggerate or underestimate. The same goes for remembering weight. And even in the present, usually people underestimate their weight when asked to report it. Like all relationships, things are not always as simple as we'd like them to be. But when it comes to this one, here are some takeaways I'd like you to remember. Physical activity benefits your health regardless of weight loss. Keep in mind there are substantial health benefits from moving more and sitting less. If you want to lose weight, combining exercise and dietary habit changes is the most likely way that you can reduce your body fat. To keep it off, you need to keep exercising at a higher level than the minimum recommendation of 2.5 hours per week of moderate activity. If you are considering trying to lose excessive body weight, I highly recommend you consider following a whole foods, plant-based diet. You'll be making a healthy choice for your own body and for our environment. Another tip is weigh yourself regularly. People who successfully lose weight and keep it off typically weigh themselves on a regular basis. And find a social support to help you to exercise and to change your dietary habits. Please remember to like this video and subscribe to Your Care Plan on YouTube. And if you've already subscribed, thank you. Please share your comments and let me know if there are future topics that you'd like to see on this channel. If you want to research further into this topic of exercise and weight loss, I've included a list of references in the video description. Thank you for watching and see you next time.